Hello, everybody. This is Mr. Poley on the evening of Sunday, April 26th, coming at you with some inspiration. That's right, I'm here to inspire you on a somewhat gloomy day to get us started on the right track for this next round of assignments. So, today I'm going to go through what's expected for day 11, quote unquote, which will be due Wednesday. So 3 days from now, 2 days from when this video will be posted. It will be due Wednesday at 1 p.m., which is the time of our Zoom call. So I do hope that you'll get this assignment done before that call so we can go over it and talk about the assignment during that call. Okay, so I'll read to you what I have written under the assignment description, and I believe you're looking at that right now on my screen. So this is to be done by Wednesday, April 29th. What is included on a bank statement? How can I make sense of it? These questions and more will be explored in this lesson. I am going to walk through analyzing a bank statement for you guys. You will be able to see that on the screen. I believe you should be looking at that behind me. I'm not really sure how this works. Maybe we'll do that. So now you can see the bank statement and the questions that follow. So let's see. After I go through this, I do hope that you are following along on your own, or maybe you want to wait until I'm done so you can go back through to try it on your own. But you will then be given the task of analyzing another bank statement independently. Okay, so I'm going to get you started with this one, kind of break down what's included on this statement. Maybe you've seen a statement like this before, maybe not. But either way, we're going to walk through what it's all about and what we can learn from this bank statement. Okay, and this specifically is a statement for a checking account. The First Bank of Wiki at 1425 James Street in Cityville, Michigan, zip code 40,000. Okay, and the guy's name, the person whose statement we are looking at, is John Jones, who lives at 1643 Dundas Street West, apartment 27, also in Cityville, Michigan, zip code 40,000. Okay, it does say top right, it's the checking account statement. There's only one page to this statement, so it's not very lengthy, not too overwhelming. The statement period here, which remember the period is just how long, the length of time that this statement covers. So it says 2018 10/9, which would be October 9th, 2018, until 2018 11/09, November 9th, 2018. So that is a total of 1 month, right? Most statements will be released or sent to you every month, but that's not to say you can't look at it more often. It's better to keep more frequent tabs on it to make sure there's no fraud or errors, no discrepancies with your money. So it's your money. You have to pay attention to it, right? It's all about being financially responsible. Next to the statement period is the account number, right? Every account number, just like your fingerprint, every account number is different. Okay. Then the whole list of transactions here in this table, this chart, the date of the transaction all the way on the left. That is how the transactions are organized by date, right? Chronologically, the first date you'll see is just the previous balance. That the date for that is the date before this statement began. And then it goes forward from there, ending the day before this statement ends on November 8th. So you have the date on the left, then the description of that transaction, whether it's a deposit, you'll see here where my cursor is, it could be a deposit, it could be an online bill payment, it could be a withdrawal, there could be some fees. Always make sure you know about these fees. Some could be posted that you shouldn't have to pay. So keep tabs on that stuff. Make sure there's nothing there that shouldn't be. All right, so it goes through again the description here. Could have a reference number. Then it's either listed as a withdrawal or a deposit. So which one of these is good? Is a withdrawal good or is a deposit good? Good for you. Which one will be better? Well, I would more like to have money deposited in my account than withdrawn from my account. If it's deposited, you're getting that money. So thumbs up there. But if it's withdrawn, you're either paying it or it's taken out for a fee, right? But most of those withdrawals are some kind of payments. It could be a check that's written. That's one description that I didn't point out before. So if you're writing a check, again, that's money that's going to be taken out of your account and withdrawn to pay somebody or some other business. Okay, and then after each withdrawal or deposit, you'll see the balance in the far right corner changes with every withdrawal or deposit. And the deposits will increase your balance, withdrawals will decrease your balance. Okay, and then of course at the bottom, you have the totals. So, enough of that. Hopefully that's not too overwhelming, like I said, looking at it, but we're going to walk through the process of really digging into what's going on here. Okay, it's an important skill to have. So, question number 1, how frequently does John typically receive account statements from his bank? Who thinks they know the answer to that? If you were paying attention a few minutes ago, that was one of the first things I mentioned at the top of this statement. All right, so how frequently does he receive account statements? Well, since the statement period is 1 month, from October 9th to November 9th, that means it is a monthly statement. Okay, so that should be choice C. It's a monthly statement. I'd be willing to bet that most banks will release monthly statements. It's just the norm. But like I said, doesn't mean you can't keep tabs on it more often than once a month, right? You better be. Make sure your direct deposit made it in there. Okay? Keep tabs on that. Number 2, how much did John Jones have in his account on the first day of the statement period? So on the first day, which remember the statement started on October 9th, how much money did he have? Well, where could we find that? That should be at the top of the transaction list, right? His previous balance. That means what his account started with when the statement began. And what is the number, the very small number, unfortunately, at the end of that row? His balance on that first day was only 55 cents. So it's a good thing his first transaction there was a payroll deposit, right? Because this guy really needed that money. John Jones was hurting. But now, so the first day of the statement, he had 55 cents, choice B. Okay, number 3. Most employers will pay their employees by directly depositing their paycheck into their checking account. According to his checking account statement, John was paid blank every blank. So there's 2 things we have to fill in here. How much was he paid and how often? So let's see. We already looked at a payroll deposit, right? That first transaction after his previous balance was a payroll deposit. Looks like he works at a hotel, and that amount was $694.81. And if you go down, we're looking to see how frequently this happened. There's another matching deposit right down here where my cursor is now. Again, for $694.81. Payroll deposit from that same hotel. This one was dated October 28th. The original one was dated October 14th. So how much time passed from that first deposit to the second one? That's right, it's 14 days, which is the same as 2 weeks. Okay, so every 2 weeks, he gets a payroll deposit for $694.81. He's paid bi-weekly. If you guys remember back to the beginning of the year, that term coming back to us. So it should be choice B, $694.81. He gets paid that every 2 weeks. Okay. Number 4. Which statements are true regarding check number 409? In this one, you should choose all correct answers. So there could be one answer, there could be more than one. Choose all that are right. So let's see. The first thing says the check likely came from John's employer. Let's look up above for check 409. Check 409 was a withdrawal for $100. So that is money that is going out of his account. He's paying $100 to somebody. So the check likely came from John's employer. That can't be, right? If he's writing that check to somebody, that money is going somewhere else. So the check did not come from his employer. No, do not check off that first one. That is not true. Second thing, though, this check was written by John and paid to another person or business. Yes, that one is correct, right? I even already mentioned that before. Check number 409, a withdrawal for $100. So he wrote that check to somebody else or a business. He was paying them. Next thing, this check caused John to overdraw his checking account. Is that true? Well, how can we figure that out? Which column should we look at? That's right, we want to look at the balance column. When this $100 came out, that lowered his balance to $512.68. You'll see he was previously at $612.68. Take $100 away from that, he's now at $512. So he did not overdraw. Not at all. So that one again is not true. Did this check add $100 to John's account? No, it didn't. We already talked about that too. That check was a withdrawal, so that is the opposite of adding to his account, which leads us to that next statement. This check subtracted $100 from John's account. That's exactly right. That's what a withdrawal does. Subtracts money from the account and lowers the balance. Okay, so you should have the second thing checked off. It was written by John and paid to another person or business. And the last thing checked off. This check subtracted $100 from John's account. Both of those statements are true. Number 5. John has 2 ATM transactions, but only one of them has a fee. Why? So let's see, and it puts in parentheses there, interact. Let's look for that up above in the statement. Let's see. So the ATM withdrawal interact charged him a fee of $3. Right? But then like they said down below, he did have another ATM withdrawal that did not have a fee attached to it. So why was that? Well, if you notice here, the ATM withdrawal for this one that caused the fee was withdrawn at Interact. The ATM withdrawal that did not have a fee was First Bank. Where have we seen First Bank before? Oh yeah, that's right. It's at the top of the statement. So this guy, John, has his account set up through First Bank. So if you withdraw money through First Bank, you're not going to have a fee because that is your bank. Why would your own bank charge you a fee for taking money out with your bank? That just wouldn't happen. But if you take money out from another bank or another location, you will be charged a fee. So that's why the Interact withdrawal had a fee. The First Bank did not. So let's look for the right answer then there. So let's see. Interact is an out-of-network ATM, and First Bank charges customers if they use out-of-network ATMs. I think that sounds like it could be right, but let's make sure the other choices are not. First Bank charges customers for using their ATMs. That's not correct, right? We saw that with the withdrawal from the First Bank ATM, there was no fee. So letter B is not true. Banks charge fees if you take out less than $100 at an ATM machine. No. And letter D, the first ATM transaction is free, but all additional ATM transactions have a fee. And that's not true either. Because again, if we look back up at the statement, that Interact ATM withdrawal, that was the first one. That's the one that had the fee. So they're saying the first ATM withdrawal is free. After that, there's a fee. That's not what's going on here. Right? But again, that brings us back to letter A. Interact must be an out-of-network ATM, and First Bank will charge customers if they use out-of-network ATMs. That's true for most banks. Right? I have my debit card, my checking account is set up through KeyBank. If I were to go to First Bank here, for example, even though I don't know if it's a real bank, but if I were to go and withdraw from First Bank, I would be charged a fee. Okay, that's just a common thing with checking accounts and debit cards. So on to the next one. Just a few more questions here. Number 6, which checking account transactions will reduce John's checking account balance? So we're looking for the types of transactions that reduce his balance. Okay, what is going to take money out of your account? Well, if you pay a bill, what happens there? You're paying somebody. That money is coming out of your account to pay off that bill. So yes, if you pay a bill, your checking account balance will go down. It will be reduced. So that first one should be checked. What about a deposit? Well, remember, a deposit is a good thing. You want to see deposits on your account because deposits increase your account balance. So a deposit does not reduce your account balance. What about a check payment? Again, that's what we were looking at before with check 409. If you pay off something with a check, your checking account balance will go down. ATM withdrawal? Yes. Again, that if you're withdrawing money, you're taking money out, that reduces your balance. What about a refund? Is a refund a good or bad thing? Well, if there's a mistake that's made and you request a refund, you're going to be getting money back as long as that request is approved for whatever it may be, right? A refund is money coming back to you. Could think of it as a deposit. So that will increase your account balance, not reduce it or decrease it. So the 3 things that should be checked here: bill payment, check payment, ATM withdrawal. Those 3 things reduce your account balance. Okay, number 7. You guys still with me here? Oh, this is a long one. Number 7. What is the impact of the online funds transfer from savings that appears on John's statement? So the impact of the online funds transfer from savings. Let's go take a look at that first. Online funds transfer from savings. Okay, that's about 2/3 of the way down the transaction list, dated October 30th. Online funds transfer from savings. So there's a reference number, not really important to us right now, but then we want to look, is it a withdrawal or a deposit? Well, there's nothing written in withdrawal there. So that online funds transfer from savings, that is a deposit. How much of a deposit? $50. So is a deposit going to increase or decrease your balance? Well, again, a deposit is good, right? It's a plus sign. It's green, not red. Deposit adds to your balance. And again, that one was for $50. So let's see. If it was an online funds transfer from savings, we can use that to imply that the money is coming from his savings account. So if it's coming from his savings account into his checking account, then I think his savings account balance declined or decreased by $50, and his checking account balance increased by $50. All right, so that first option, that's the one we want right there. Look no further because that's what happened. His savings account went down by 50, checking account went up by 50. Next question. What are examples of common checking account fees that you see on John's statement? Examples of common checking account fees that are on his statement. So let's go up and look at those fees. So let's see, the first fee, who sees it? Who sees it? That first fee, yep, one we talked about already. That was a fee for an ATM withdrawal. Okay, another fee. Let's see, going down the list of transactions. There are no other fees until the end. There's an overdraft fee, right? Because he went under his balance, he went into the negatives. So he was paying money that he just doesn't have. So that will definitely cause a fee to be charged if you overdraw. Then there's also a monthly maintenance fee of $5. Overdraft fee was $35. Okay, a lot of banks charge a monthly maintenance fee, but if you look into that ahead of time, that can be avoided if you know where to look. I do not have a monthly maintenance fee on my checking account. I'm very happy for that. Okay, so 3 fees. 1 was an ATM withdrawal, 1 was an overdraft fee, 1 was a monthly maintenance fee. So let's go back to our question down below. And yep, there's a monthly fee. That first one should be checked. There was an overdraft fee, and there was an ATM fee. I would hope that nobody would be charged a fee for having direct deposit. Okay, so the monthly fee, overdraft fee, ATM fee should all be checked. Those are all common fees that are listed on John's statement. Number 9. One more question, and then it's up to you guys to tell me what you learned. Okay, so number 9. As a result of the check payment of $710.49, choose all that are correct. So let's see, the check payment of $710.49, scrolling up. We'll see that was toward the bottom here, check number 410. And what happened when that $710.49 was withdrawn? Well, that was when John overdrew his account. Right? His previous balance was $512, but he had to withdraw. That check was for over $700, so that brought him into the negatives, almost $200 in the negative. That is not good. That is a huge overdraw. So let's look at some options here. John overdrew his account as the payment was greater than the balance he had available. Yes, that's right. John was charged an overdraft fee of $35 by the bank. Yes, that's also right. John has to repay the bank $237.81 to get his account back in balance. Well, let's see. Yeah, I mean, looking at the balance column on this statement, his last row puts him at negative $237.81. And how is that negative going to be made up? How is that deficit going to be overcome? Well, who do you think is responsible to pay that? John. That's right, Mr. John Jones. He will have to pay $237.81 to get his account even again. Don't let that happen to you. Okay, and the last thing, the bank would pay John $237.81 to pay this bill. No. Why would the bank pay John to get him out of the hole if they had nothing to do with that? Right? That just doesn't make sense. But those first 3 options, those are all correct. He overdrew his account. He was charged that overdraft fee because he overdrew his account. And then he has to repay the bank to get back to an even balance. Okay, those first 3 out of 4 are correct. Now let's see. This last one's my favorite. What is the mathematical formula that you would use to describe the financial activity on a bank statement? Okay, even though this one is my favorite because it's about a mathematical formula, keep in mind it's not about becoming a calculator, but a mathematical thinker. So it's all about how you're thinking about everything here, right? The formulas are great and they all serve a purpose, but it's really how you're thinking about it. So let's see. Is the ending balance equal to the previous balance plus deposits plus withdrawals? Maybe. Ending balance, is that equal to the previous balance minus deposits plus withdrawals? Is the ending balance equal to the previous balance plus deposits minus withdrawals? Maybe. Or is the ending balance equal to the previous balance minus deposits minus withdrawals? Okay, I'm going to leave you guys hanging on that one because I feel like that was discussed many times throughout the whole previous analysis. So I'm going to let you guys choose the best answer for that mathematical formula. Okay, and I'm hoping after this whole talk here that should be somewhat obvious. But if not, we can talk about it. Just remember, what does a deposit do? What does a withdrawal do? Right? And put those little operations in the right spot. Okay? And last one, what did you learn? Use what you learned from analyzing the bank statement to answer this question. Why is it important to review your bank account statement? What fees might this help you avoid? Explain your answer. Okay? So questions 10 and 11 are up to you guys to answer. I hope that if you followed along with me throughout, you would have good knowledge to answer both of those questions. Okay, but of course that can be something that we can discuss in our Zoom call on Wednesday as well. So I hope that you analyze this statement right along with me and learned a thing or two. Maybe if you still have more questions, please forward them my way so we can clear up any misunderstandings or confusion. Okay, and there will be another bank statement posted that you guys have to analyze. Okay, and that will be all up to you. I'm hoping that this video helped you understand a little better what we're dealing with here. Okay, so do well on that next independent analysis, and I'm looking forward to discussing all this with you guys on Wednesday. But until then, love math. See you guys.